All right, everybody. How many do we have here? Let's see here. I almost screwed that whole thing up. The whole thing got deleted, so I had to redo it. So if you're just coming aboard, please forgive me for having to redo that. I'm getting everything situated on here a little bit ahead of time. Trying to fix the lights here. All right, we're a few minutes early, so I'm going to wait about a couple of minutes to wait for everybody to pretty much get on here. Might not have very many people on here because that whole thing got deleted. So if I hopefully get on here a little bit early, it gets it fixed. So we'll see. Technical difficulties. All right, only 2 people on here. Yeah, probably really screwed everything up. All right. We're going to give it a few minutes to everybody who's on here. Appreciate you coming aboard, spending your Wednesday evening, depending on where you are in the world, spending your Wednesday with us or with me here. I much appreciate it. All right. And everybody's coming on. All right. Finally, here we go. So if you guys just getting on here, I apologize if you couldn't find the link. I had to redo it because either I screwed up something or Facebook probably screwed up something. Knowing me, it was probably me. So, um, Raging Mondo is here. How's it going, buddy? Can you hear me? Okay, everybody can hear me. So, like, until I get the collection room fixed up or whatever like that, I really just won't have um, a definite space or anything to. Um, so I kind of have to do a makeshift spot and everything like that. Audio is good. Okay, Joe, you're here. Awesome. Um, great. Okay, got a couple more minutes. We're gonna wait for more people to get on here. We only look like we have like 9 people, now 10. So let's give a. I sent a link out to everybody on a couple of spots to get on that I had to redo the link. You can tell I'm not a veteran with this whole thing, with this whole live stream thing. I'm still getting used to it, so I apologize ahead of time. Hey, John, how are you doing, man? All right, so still a couple more minutes. I just kind of like getting on here because you never can tell what's going to go wrong. Something did go wrong, so had to get that fixed. But I like getting on here a couple minutes ahead of time just to make sure everything is okay. Because again, I'm not a pro at this by any means at all. Still kind of learning the ropes on it. So I appreciate y'all's patience. Okay. So if you're just now joining and this is your first time, there's only 10 of you guys on here. So I do these live streams. I'm going to start doing them basically like once a week, maybe once every other week, depending on the circumstances or whatever. But I just kind of want to touch on different topics and everything, and kind of communicate with my audience, communicate with my viewers, my patrons, and everything, and just kind of talk about what I'm up to, answer some questions, talk about different subjects and everything, and just kind of shoot the breeze with everybody. For me, it's just a way to kind of give back and to reach out to you all and everything and talk with you. And that way, just kind of show my appreciation for your support of the channel and stuff. And I greatly appreciate everything that you guys do. So whether you're in my Patreon or whether you're not, you guys are the channel, and you guys what keeps me going and everything. I mean, even though we have only 11 viewers right now, I think that's still pretty cool. I mean, because that's 11 people that are taking time out of their day to watch this ugly mug right here. So I appreciate it. So I've been doing some research. We'll go ahead and get started. I've been doing some research here lately and kind of looking in on 3D printing as a whole, what it's going to look like in the future. In the future, meaning this coming year, because there's a lot of vendors, a lot of companies now that are pushing out all of their old printers. As you can see, there's a lot of stuff that's on clearance right now through Anycubic. Elgu's coming out with some new stuff already on the FDM side. But and I'm not talking about just resin or FDM as a single thing, but I'm talking about as a whole. So these companies are really starting to fast forward their progress and their technology in what 3D printing is getting ready to happen. So I'm not only going to talk about that, I'm going to talk about 3D printing as a hobby, like the people, what it's doing, and different things about the hobby itself, how it's affecting companies, because it is affecting companies. And when I say companies, I'm not talking about like Marvel and DC necessarily, but there's companies out there that are pissed that 3D printing is a thing. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. So, um, so like John, you're waiting for the Neptune 3 Max to be back in stock. So I think that's just the start of what these companies are doing. This is technology that has been on the back burner for a little bit, and they've been coming out with it for a while. But there's some really cool advances that are getting ready to hit. What I've been reading up on, and man, it's everything. So if you remember right, when 3D printing really come about a few years ago, it was just a lot of your like your CR10, your Creality and stuff like that was coming out with these FDM printers and everything, and they were slow. They wouldn't stick to the print bed and everything. So fast forward now a few years, and we got into resin printing, and we got into different types of FDM printers, like this Bamboo. Like Bamboo has done something that's just really killer, even though their printers have been having a lot of problems. But you can start printing dual colors and multicolors and stuff like that on the FDM. My question is, how long do you think it will be till we can do something similar in resin printing, where we're able to print multicolors and clear resins and things like that at the same time? I think it's closer than what you think. I think we're ready. I think we're getting ready to see some of that technology come about. I think we're getting ready to see some people or some of these companies to start developing printers that are just humongous scale wise. I was looking the other day, I was showing my wife this one printer. This thing, it was like you could print, the build plate was like 5 feet by 5 feet. Now, that's not something we're going to be able to have in our house or anything, but that just shows you the capabilities of what they're coming out with. So I think that what we're going to be seeing is we're going to be seeing like resin printers that are going to have the capabilities of printing multicolors. They're going to be, just doing all kinds of neat things. I mean, I wish I could pinpoint on it, but I see that happening in the future. Whether it's this year or next year, I don't know. But these companies are definitely having some advances in their technology and everything. Yeah, you would have to have more than 2 vats with a build plate that can move between them, I think. Yeah, I think you're right. I think what it would probably have is a multi-layer vats. I mean, if that makes sense, it's hard for me to explain. I could see that happening, but yeah, it's going to be tough. So before we dive in, everybody, I want you guys. He just come aboard. It's a gentleman that I met His name is Dolph Souza. Everybody say hi to Dolph. Dolph is he's a 3D artist. He's done a lot of technical work and stuff like that for different companies, such as Coke. I think it's Coke. Um, Different companies, major companies, and everything. And I kind of ran across his Instagram page. Dolph, if you will, put a link to your Instagram page on here for maybe everybody can come and over to your page and see some of your work. Now, he's new to the 3D printing era, but he's done a lot of stuff with ZBrush and different types of mediums and everything. And the reason I'm mentioning him is because I told you guys that I really want to support new artists that are doing really good work. And I think Dolph, if you check out his trap jaw from He-Man, now Dolph designed this, he printed it. I think he printed it and he painted it. For somebody who is new to it and everything, this thing is exceptional. It's really, really nice. And I see a lot of good things from Dolph in the future. He's just got a brand new Instagram page. So guys, go over there and check it out. Dolph, if you could put a link to it up, that would be awesome. But I wanted him to come aboard today just to kind of introduce, and I wanted him to see the live stream of what we do. And I wanted you guys to, to say hello to him and everything like that. So definitely go check out his work. I can see us doing some work with Dolph in the near future and everything. So I appreciate it. Him coming aboard. He is in the UK. He's in London, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. But really, really good artist. Go check out his work over there. I think he's only produced like one, or he's only made one thing, but definitely an artist to look out for. I love his style. And the guy's he does really good work, paint work and everything else. So absolutely check him out. He's going to be somebody to reckon with in the future. Okay. Awesome. Thanks for stopping by, Dolph. I do appreciate it. Yeah. If, like I said, if you can post a link in the comments to your Instagram page. If not, I will put something below and we'll definitely take a look at it. So, all right. So going forward, with 3D printing, man, the sky is the limit. There's a lot of companies that are using this technology now. Everybody from like, car companies and airplane companies and everything. So I honestly think with what they're looking for, they're going to push the envelope with these companies. And I think there's going to be some funding sort of things to help them develop, technology for them to produce prototype parts and stuff like that for their businesses and everything. Because a lot of people don't think that happens, but it does. I do think that because of them and companies like them and people like them, and because the market is so hot, that they're really going to focus in on making this new technology for us. And I think you're going to see a lot of really cool things here pretty soon. So another thing too is the way it's moving so fast. Like there are companies out there now, like Games Workshop, a couple other companies that are really super pissed that we have 3D printing. I even think that Games Workshop, correct me if I'm wrong, I think they even like had some type of attempt to block some of these companies from creating 3D printers because they were so worried about their IPs being reproduced and everything, and people weren't shopping or buying their products and everything. So, so Dan says, and this is something I agree on. I want better auto support for the slicer. Have a lot of fail with islands, also better quality without having layer shift and blooming. That is true. So I think a lot of that has to do with an artist, whoever creates the file. So when you're in ZBrush and everything like that, if you're not creating that right, if you're not hollowing that out correctly and stuff, that's where that can happen. I think a lot of the layer shifting and blooming and everything has to do with settings, but I see what you're talking about because it seems like there's a lot of times where where we put all this, we do all this, all these settings a certain way. We try different things, and we still wind up getting fails and everything. So I think a lot of that, you're going to see it making it easier. Like with FDM printers, you see auto bed leveling and things like that happening. And so I think with resin printing, they're really just kind of holding back, if you will, because some of that technology is going to be more difficult than it will be on an FDM printer. Um, so that's going to be remain to be seen. I also think that a lot of these companies, like Marvel, Disney, DC, all these other companies, are really going to start cracking down on these artists who are messing with their IP. And while, I touched on this last live stream about copyright infringement and things like that, it's going to happen. It's been happening forever. There's really no way to stop it. But I think that they're going to try and crack down on some of this. They're definitely not going to be able to stop people from 3D printing. I think that they realize that there are things that are going to happen. I mean, it's just like going to like going to a convention, years ago and stuff, and you have artists there that are drawing pictures and selling pictures and autograph them and everything. Nobody really says anything about them, but that's been going on forever. So I think at some point they're going to kind of shrug off a little bit, but you're going to have these companies. There's certain companies that are like pit bulls that are going to be holding on for dear life and trying to get you guys to buy their product rather than print their product. So I'm going to say this. Another thing is, and I think people are realizing, like, you got companies like Sideshow and Prime One, Iron Studios, all these guys that are producing statues. I honestly think deep down inside they're kind of worried, because you have a ton of people like Dolph and like other artists that are just amazing ZBrush artists, whether they work on ZBrush, Blender, whatever. They're amazing digital sculptors who are creating some really awesome files. They're doing their own Patreon, and they're making money from it. And a lot of these people, like myself, like you guys, are really getting into these Patreons and buying files from them because it's cheaper. Who in the hell wants to pay $1,300? I saw a statue of Blade the other day. $1,395 for the statue, and it's probably going to cost you another $200-300 just to ship it, depending on where you live. Who's got that kind of money lying around? And why would you do that when you can go out for $1,300? Like, you can buy that M3 Max, or you can buy a high build volume printer, and you can probably commission somebody at a reasonable price, or go into a Patreon and get files and print it a lot cheaper, and print it over and over if you want to. So and once you get your printer, that's the biggest expense. The rest of it is just getting files, which is the cheap part of it. So I think that these companies are, while they're probably not freaking out right now, I think eventually they're going to be scratching their head, going, "Oh my God, what can we do to save our company, to save our soul here?" Because a lot of people are getting smart and just printing their own stuff at home and avoiding all these high costs. And you can even commission a painter out to paint it for you if you're not all that great with painting. So that's something else to think about. I think that I think a lot of companies, and it's been proven, because Games Workshop right now is really going after like sites like CG Trader and Thingiverse and all these other companies. They're shutting these people down. Etsy, they're shutting these people down that are taking and like doing a file of Space Marine or something like that and posting it up there because they're losing money. I mean, but the thing is, if your stuff wasn't so expensive and affordable where people could afford it, you probably wouldn't have to fight that anyway. But that's just my opinion. Tell me what you think in the comments. So let's see here. We got some people commenting on here. Raging Mondo says, "That's what I'm worried about. The guys at 3D Berserk and Wicked have put out some great work. It's not just things like Marvel, DC, and Disney, but companies like Sideshow." Yes. Yep. Christian says, just like I said, now you can make your models less and cheaper. Justice Buster Prime One Studios is something I really wanted, and it isn't that thing like $4,000. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not sure how much that is. That if you want to know what the Justice Buster is, it's Batman. It's in a quarter scale, so you're talking probably overall. This thing is probably like 35 inches tall. I know telling how much it weighs. Um, but this is Batman standing in front of a mech made that Batman can go into and everything, almost like the war tank that Wicked did. That was part of another company did that one, but I think that thing is like $4,000, something like that to that nature or whatever. But that thing is humongous, and I imagine weighs a ton. So I can only imagine what shipping is. Could you imagine if somebody was to do that file and sell it for $10, $20 or whatever, and you can make your own in your house, in your own printer, paint it the way you want to, and not and void that money? I mean, that's amazing. So it's crazy. Um, Joe says the fact that they're so expensive is why companies like Sideshow will eventually try and shut it down. Imagine how much their license fees are for products that they make. So yeah, easily six figures, and in some cases millions of dollars. So I know that, of course, the bigger the license, the more it's going to cost and everything. But take into consideration, like certain statue companies can only sell in their backyard. They can only sell to certain countries. Like I think, who is it? XM cannot sell to the U.S. because Sideshow does, and their license only calls for them to be able to sell at certain countries overseas. Um, so it goes without saying. Again, you're going to have to pay even more for it because you got flippers out there who are buying these things, putting them on eBay, putting them in these selective special groups, these private groups or whatever, and jacking the price up on them. The same thing with customs. Customs are ridiculously overinflated, expensive, and everything. And again, it's just probably five or six people who are selling to their buds or whatever like that and taking a huge profit off of it, and they're a third party shipper or a third party seller themselves. So um la, 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 la. So while I support their Patreon, Sammer says, I'm surprised Wicked Art hasn't been shut down. uh Me too. But we're not going to talk too much about that so they don't get shut down. um Warner tried to shut down Three Berserk last year, very sad hit. So yeah, there were some issues about that. I think the guys have kind of overcome that. Now, keep in mind there are some countries um, that do not acknowledge copyright laws. So that's another thing to take into consideration. Dolph says, "I think it's inevitable. I think as long as it falls under the fan art niche, I doubt they can shut you down." That is incorrect. So if we print something like the channel that I have, if I'm printing something on there just as fan art and I'm not selling it, which I don't sell my pieces, so Marvel and DC, I do not sell my statues, so don't come after me. Anyway, as long as you don't sell it, I don't think that they could do anything to you per se. It's the companies that, like Wicked or Berserk or whatever, that are selling things like that. They could come after them and shut them down. Now, I think the what they would probably do first and foremost is probably go after your Patreon. They would probably go through the third party like Patreon and get Patreon to shut you down or get Facebook to shut you down. I don't think that they would necessarily come after you to begin with, until you just totally disregard what they're talking about and you keep doing stuff. So I think that at that point, that's when they would probably come after you with a cease and desist order, and then they take things from there. So, um, and it is, that guy says it's very hard to start something once it's started. You are correct. Um, Sundoku, I think I got that right. The thing Prime One and like they should really worry about is scanning. Now with newer iPhones, you can get pretty good 3D scans and then putting them up online. That's true. That's one thing I'm getting ready to get into as well. Dolph says it's just another artistic expression, like illustrators can draw commissions. Yeah, no. So when you start making money off of it, and 5, 10, even $100 here and there is not going to really affect anything. But when you have a Patreon that has 3,000, 5,000 subscribers to it, and you're making 20, 30, 40 grand a month, that's when they're going to really take notice, because that's when it's having an effect, as they say. It's having an effect on their business. So, then they'll probably start the ball rolling and putting some feelers out there to come after you or shut you down or whatever. But if you're just doing it here and there, keeping it under the radar, then you're probably small fish that they probably won't even mess with. I don't know. I mean, it just really depends. And like I said, earlier, that illustrators were making commissions and stuff, commission covers and stuff like that at cons. They still are. And they're infringing. So, I mean, they don't say anything about that. Granted, now, if you've been to a convention here, I'll say this. Years ago when I went to Comic-Con, I think I got like Mike Zeck to draw a cover for me for like $25, $30. Now, if you were to find somebody to do that, they're going to charge you hundreds of dollars. So there might be a difference between now and then, whether they consider you just really making a ton of money, whether they want to come after you or not. So that really depends. Dan 3D Print says, I know one of the 3D artists that work with Sideshow, charged them like $6,000 for a model. Yes. So you have a lot of artists that make, like these 3D artists, if they're really, really good and really well known, can make thousands of dollars per model. It happens. It takes a minute to get there. But these guys also do side commissions. And so, they also do work to private commissioners and stuff like that as well. Again, nothing happens to them. So, it is what it is. But I think that if they see you out there making a ton of money, then they'll take the opportunity to probably shut you down. So it just really depends. What happens to these guys when they get shut down? Do they have to repay anything? That's the $1 million question right there. So when they get shut down, that a lot of times they just come back under a different name. But it really depends. If they get a cease and desist order, and then they keep making models and stuff, then they run that risk. So it just really depends. Felipe, nice to see you, my friend, says, I live in Brazil. Here it is very expensive to buy a collectible figure. I myself did not understand what was the fun of having these figures. So, okay, he goes, but since I started printing and painting my own, I discovered the incredible world of collecting. Your videos are inspiring, and I learned a lot from them. Thank you, sir. Soon I'll be subscribing to your Patreon. Thanks again. Well, thank you. So that's another thing too. Printing and painting is like therapeutic. And I think I've talked on this before. I know for me, if you were to look back on this shelf back here, there are tons of stuff that I have not painted yet that I've printed. For me, it's just something that I enjoy. So, I mean, it's soothing for me. It takes some stress away that I might have from work or from life or whatever in general. And it helps me kind of cope with things, I guess you could say. It's just like, what do they say, that shopping is therapeutic? Like a lot of women, and I'm not trying to stereotype anybody, but they say a lot of women go shopping because it's therapeutic for them. Well, this is kind of therapeutic for people too. And doesn't matter whether you print out something and you paint it and you may think it looks like crap. It's yours. That's the thing. If you're proud of it, that's all that matters. Who cares if it costs $1,500 or if it costs $10 to print? It's yours. You enjoy it. That's the whole thing. And I think that is what's catching on with a lot of people. A lot of people are seeing that, hey, man, I can just, this is a family thing. You can, you know, granted, if you're doing resin printing, you want to make sure that your kids, your 5-year-old doesn't start resin printing, but, you know, it's something that the family can partake on and everything. Um, and families are really liking that. I know my boss from work has gotten his family into it, and they're creating stuff, all kinds of stuff, and it's pretty cool. Um, do you think that the crackdown could push people underground and make them go for more unusual means? They're already doing that, man. They're already doing that. So you got these private groups on Facebook that nobody can find. You can't search them or anything like that. You have to be specifically invited, and they're selling stuff on there. They think that's a way to kind of undermine the companies that they're infringing on and everything. So, um, Carlos says, indeed, I was doing airplane models a few years ago before I came across 3D models. So much fun painting these characters that I grew up in comics. Yes, and that's yeah. I mean, there's no way around it. I mean, it's crazy that you can take something and from a file from your computer and make it into a 3D image to where you can actually physically have it in your hands and print it and paint it and put it up on a shelf, and it's something that you've done. I'm still just amazed how we've gotten here. Um, so it's just mind boggling, you know, what's in the future. I mean, these things could start printing in color where we don't have to paint it. So who knows? It's just intriguing how everything is going to take place. Um, Sammer says, I was totally surprised how far the quality of 3D printing has progressed. I watched the presentation of ZBrush Summit with Sideshow, and some of the artists were talking about how the printers in quality now. Luckily for me, I'm able to design myself, so long term, I have no shortage of things to print. That's the way to go. If let me tell you something, if you're a designer like Dolph or like Wicked or somebody like that, um, you can have plenty of work. These guys are making a living off of being freelance artists, but it takes a while to get there. You got to get well known. You got to put out some projects, and you have to get better. Um, so I mean, it's one of those things that you have to grow with. It's like YouTube. You know, I started. Everybody on YouTube has started with 0 subscribers. That's a known fact. And whether you got 11,000 or 50 million, I mean, you had to start from somewhere, and you had to get better, and you had to learn the industry, and you had to work your way up. And these artists have done that. There's some out there that are quality is impeccable, and then there's some out there that you know, still got some work to do and everything. So it really depends. I've met artists who are very humble, who are very down to earth type people. They'll give you the shirt off their back. They love producing they love doing what they do. And then you got some people out there that are just assholes. They do it for the money and nothing else. They don't care about the love of the character, the love of the hobby, or anything like that. It's just a means of making money. More power to them. But you know, it just, and they think that their poop doesn't stink. They think that, hey, I'm going to charge $6,000-7,000 for this model. If you don't want it, too bad. But that's just, you know, neither here nor there. Um, so Dolph says he's been in the industry for quite some time, and I think I lost a lot of. Think I've lost the joy. 3D printing and painting brought that back, so I feel 13 again. Yeah. So when things start to become a business, and you really don't you really don't have fun with it anymore, but it's more of an obligation. I think that's when you start to lose that luster. I think that's when you really kind of um, you lose your edge. And I couldn't agree with you more. I say print what you want what you print. Paint, same thing with painting. If it's something that you're happy with, it could look like crap to somebody else. It looks golden to you. I am by far a master painter or anything like that. I just do what I love to do on the channel, and that's help out people. And I love printing and painting. Um, some of my stuff, I look back on it that I did a couple of years ago, and I'm going, God, that looks like crap. That sucks. And I can take that criticism and motivation and makes me that much better, and makes me drive more to learn more things and to get better and everything. So if you start doing that, if you're doing that, then you'll become a better artist, a better painter, or whatever like that. And again, I think I said it on maybe the last live stream or the one before that. Always keep that first piece up on a mantle when you walk by it every day. You take a look at it versus what you're doing now. And if you see an improvement, which you will, if you stick to it, then by all means, it's going to be worth it in the end. You'll definitely improve. Um, so Dolph also says, like you said, it's yours. Now you can create something that didn't exist a minute ago. Figures of the most obscure shows, and have something that you always wished. And that's why, that's why it's so important. I think that's why it's so popular right now, because Sideshow, you can buy a Hulk piece. They made 5,000 of them. That's 5,000 other people that you have. If that matters to you. But with 3D printing, you can get something like, well, I would show a piece, but I don't want it to fall. But you could just get a piece in your collection, something that you've always been wanting, and who cares? I mean, it's you have it. I mean, that's what you wanted. That's what's important. So, um, we need to commission an Olivetti Punisher. Um, Sideshow has one, but hell, if it's Punisher, I'm all for it. Do I take any commission printing work? No, sir, I do not. I do not. I do not do any commissions, any printing, any painting. I do not do any of that right at the moment. Raphael says, always a pleasure watching your channel from 3D printing to painting. Thank you for taking the time to share your work and your skills. Thank you, sir, for watching the channel. I appreciate that. Sundoku says, I work in architecture firm, and we had a guy get scolded for using half a mil printer to print anime statues. That's what introduced me to 3D printing. Your channel was the final push for me to get one. Yep. So I know a couple of guys that have industrial printers that these things are like $250,000, that they make fenders for new cars, rims for new cars, and stuff like that. And a couple of guys have shown me some of the stuff that they've created on there as far as um, figures and stuff like that. And it's just like, wow, it's just mind blowing. So that, yeah, those are out there. I would love to print on one of those and have a piece from one of those printers, because the build plate is like something like 28 by Fat Jaw or something like that. Oh my gosh, it would be just amazing. Compared with statue from companies, the ones that I print and paint has more meaning to me because there's work behind it, can even boast and share about it. Absolutely, Nelson. So you guys are getting it now. So the piece that you guys do is a conversation piece, whether it's a chick magnet or just something to talk to your friends about or whatever. Have friends over, family over, and they see it in your collection. They go, oh man, where'd you buy that at? That looks really cool. You can sit there and go, I didn't buy it anywhere. I made it. So, definitely something to really think about. Have I tried to create my own stuff? I tried making a few things on Tinkercad and Blender. It's really harder than it looks. Yes, it is. I have not yet. I really want to sit down and learn. I am just so busy between my day job, between the YouTube channel, the live streams, my life. I have to devote time to my wife because she deserves it. I've got kids, I've got grandkids. I've got just tons of stuff going on right now. And this summer, I plan on doing some work to my house. It's just really difficult for me to really get in and to dive into that. But I was just telling my wife the other day, I mean, she went out a few months ago, actually probably like a year ago, and bought me this really super nice tablet. And I just really haven't gotten a chance to really dive into it. I've done some stuff on Blender, I just really haven't gotten into it yet, but I would love to. Um, Reggie Mondo says, I got into this to make studio scale ships for Star Wars. Always wanted that stuff, but it is crazy what that can cost. And will I be going to Wonderfest in Kentucky? No, I will not. Um, I don't go to conventions much anymore. Um, I just don't. I mean, again, I'm too busy and stuff, so it's really difficult for me to get out and do that sort of thing. So yeah, scale ships for Star Wars. Um, I mean, the sky's the limit. I mean, I see some of these people doing these 1-1 scales of these 6 feet tall models of like Dragon Ball Z and even Pokemon and even comic characters and stuff. And these things take a long time to do. But it's amazing that the talent that people have. A lot of people think they're not talented. They think, oh, I can't do that. I can't print. I can't paint. It looks like shit. And I'm not even going to attempt it. Well, if you're one of those people, then reconsider it, because you'd be surprised how many people are better than what they think. So I've seen some of you guys. I've seen some of you guys work and stuff like that, and I've seen some of my patrons work in the Discord, and they do some really good stuff, man. We got some people, all walks of life, in their 20s up into their 60s, and a lot of these guys are doing some really incredible work. I'm proud of them. They do some really neat stuff. So, and that's why it's important for me to have a patron. That way I can look at other people's work, and we get on there. There's actually a voice channel we can get on there and see each other and interact on board with each other, and share ideas and bounce off things with each other and stuff. But they're getting better. I mean, that's the whole thing. I mean, that's crazy for me. Chris says, it just finished an Archangel statue, all FDM printed. Everyone who has seen it is amazed that I printed and hand painted it. There you go, man. Absolutely. That's your statue. That's your work. That's your artistic ability coming out. And by all means, share it. Absolutely. Hello, Darren. How are you? So a couple of other things of what 3D printing could look like in the future. I honestly think that the price of some of these printers are really going to go down even more. A lot of them have already started. So like, what was I looking at the other day? The M3 Max, I think when it first came out was like $1,400, and now they're selling it for under $1,000. That's a lot of money to be saved on that for that big of a printer. Of course, if you can get the thing to work right. I mean, I've had all kinds of problems with mine, but and I think that this Neptune X or Max or whatever that Elegoo just come out with, that's a huge, what is it, 400 by 400 by 300 millimeter volume or something like that, print volume FDM printer. It's like $400. I know that when 3D printing first come out, I know like the Ender 3 was what, $600 or $700. So it's crazy how the prices have come down. It's just like TVs. If anybody remembers 20 years ago, a 40-inch TV would cost you like $3,000. Now you can get them for like $200. So, and I did hear a reliable source that said that Walmart is actually looking into carrying 3D printers. Imagine going to Walmart. Man, you can go to Walmart, get your groceries, get your toys, your toy collection, get you some clothes and a shirt, and go over there and get you a damn 3D printer and put it in layaway for Christmas. That's crazy to think about that. But yeah, anything that can be made money, Walmart's going to get into it. So have I tried any of the DLP machines? The only ones that I've tried from Anycubic are the Photon Mono X and the M3 Max. I love my Photon Mono X's. I can't tell you how many thousands of hours of print time I've got on there. And they just, they keep rocking. They need a screen right now, but I love those. Those printers were were built to last. This new stuff they're coming out with, I think they're just shortcutting it. And I think some of the stuff is just not top quality like it used to be. Abdullah says, I'm working on research to make 3D printed splints. Cool deal. I did see something the other day where somebody created carbon fiber uh, uh, blah, 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 prosthesis for a kid that had no legs, and they made him like Iron Man. It was so cool. So they had the red, the yellow, and everything. The guy painted up real nice in the metallic form. Had the Iron Man logo over here, and the it was for a kid. So I mean, things like that are just amazing. If you could do that, it was just crazy how that works. And for me, if I could do something like that for somebody, for a kid that needs it, I definitely would. So, absolutely. Elgo Jupiter, I've heard so much about it. Um, I've heard good things. Heard some bad things, but overall, I've heard some really good things. I think when they come out with their beta unit, it was crap. But I think the newer ones that they've got now have been really, really good. Um, been super lucky with my Macs. Only failed prints were operator error. That was about 2 out of maybe 15 prints so far. You're lucky, man, because mine was just messing up just like crazy. Um, so Abdullah says, yeah, I saw that. They were amazing. Um, good. Dolph says he's got a Mono X and an M3, and they've worked sweet so far. So yeah. How many printers do I have? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12. I think I got 12 printers altogether, maybe 13. Yeah, I have printers that I haven't even opened yet. um, Dolph says mine ripped one model, but I think it was to do with the orientation. So yeah, and that's going to be we're going to do a live stream about print fails, and I really would like. I got a couple of people in mind I really want to come on here that are really well versed in print fails and can tell you a lot of the reasoning why we have print fails. But that's going to be another live stream later on down the road. Um, I think, yeah, a lot of it has to do with orientation. I think that, and that's what I'm talking about with people. They get frustrated. They want to throw the printer out in the yard. They get one. They want to print the biggest thing that they can possibly do first and foremost, instead of working small and working up. But they're getting frustrated with the printer itself, when they need to be looking in the mirror and reading instructions and doing tutorials and doing research and everything. And definitely look at your orientation, look at your settings and everything. Because when I first started, I was so pissed. I had this little behind me. I had this Mars, this Elgu Mars here, and I could not get anything printed off of it. I did the little Rook. You guys know the Rook that you print out for the test print, and that thing printed solid, and it printed like a whole vat of resin. And I thought I was going to freak out. And then I tried to do like just a mini, and I could not get that thing to print, and it was just a nightmare. But I stopped what I was doing. I did research. I watched other people, and then I started printing, and I've been addicted ever since. So, yeah, we're gonna have a printers anonymous sort of thing here, an addiction sort of come to fruition sort of thing as well on here one day. Everybody's gonna have to confess, um, but absolutely. Christian says I have a Saturn II and M3 Max and Flash Forge Guider 2. So Flash Forge, I think, was one of those printers when they first come out. They were just so expensive, and now they're just not so expensive, I don't think. So that goes back to me saying about how everything, the technology, as it progresses and gets newer or gets out there and gets more available and stuff, the printers will come down. So schools, libraries, there's companies that use 3D printing and everything. I know my first interaction with 3D printing was I worked for Staples years ago. In our copy and print center, we had a 3D printer. And it was a crappy little FDM printer. I can't even tell you what it was, but we had one girl over there that could operate the thing because she was certified. But we used it. A lot of people got like desk organizers and stuff like that made. So yeah, schools, all kinds of places are using these things. Dental offices and everything use it for dentures and for teeth and replacements and stuff like that. Um, it's not going away. I don't care what anybody says. Games Workshop, all these other companies who want to shut down Patreons and everything else, it's not going away. It's only going to get better. And the making these files is going to get more elaborate. There's going to be more software out there for you to do that. There's going to be more things to go into ZBrush to make things like just totally lifelike. We're already using scanners. And scanners just over the past couple of years have become, while they're still expensive, but they're coming, just their technology is just unbelievable now. You can scan something and just make it look like just a 3D rendition, and it's like lifelike. So I think that's how like Prime and all of them do their big busts and all that. Their silicone busts that are way overpriced. I think they do a lot of that. So with scanners and everything. Joe says, I'm a teacher and can tell you 3D printers are everywhere in most school districts now. Yep, they are. They're just good to have. Nelson says, yeah, there are a lot of information online and resources that are newbie friendly. Yeah, so if that's your thing, then yeah, definitely get on it now, and get in on 3D printing. Start learning the ropes now as much as you can, and you're only going to get better. You're going to be ahead of the curve. So like in another 3 to 5 years, when 3D printing really goes mainstream, and you see everybody, you're going to be like a pro with this. So same thing with painting. Painting these models and everything is a joy. It's just like I said, it's therapeutic. It's fun to do. It takes your mind off the craziness that's going on in the world, and allows you to escape back to your childhood, if you will, or if you're just a big man child like me. Just allows you to breathe a little fresh air and everything, and escape, and have fun. I mean, that's what's wrong with having some little fun, and getting getting out of the everyday mumble jumble that is life. So Loki Wartooth, yo, what's going on, my friend? He says I donated mono price to our library. Okay. Um, Dad's RC Workbench says, I remember trying 3D modeling when I was a kid, and now you can sculpt with Blender for free. Yes. I really wish that ZBrush wasn't so damned expensive. They have a lot more to it. It's so complicated to me. I mean, I look at it and I just go, oh my God, all this stuff I've got to learn, all the textures, all the brushes that you can use and everything. It's crazy. But one day I'm going to learn it. Deja Brutal, what up, people? Finally got a Saturn and it's on. So glad I found your channel in this hobby. We're glad you're here, my friend. You've just become the newest 3D printing addict. So have fun and enjoy, man. Have I tried a Delta printer? No, I'm not familiar with Delta printers. Um, I've done the ones I print on are mainly Lenant printers, and the Anycubic, and I've got a Uniformation GK1 back here that I've never gotten to work, and just a couple other printers. But yeah, you're seeing a lot more companies out there too that are making printers. Now, I will say this, and I might piss off some people. I might piss off some companies, but I'm just going to be honest with you. Not everybody can build a good printer. It's obvious. There's a lot of people out there that make some really, really crappy printers. and I've seen some of them that are just horrendous. I'm not going to mention any names, but just do your research. If you're new to this, you're just getting into it, stick with some of the big guys that have done their homework, that have put out printers, who have done the trial and error thing for you. Talk to some people in Facebook groups, talk to some people, you know, in Instagram, or watch some YouTube videos for people that have success with certain companies and certain printers. But definitely look into that before you just go out and buy any printer because it's cheap. Oh, well, I found this cool resin printer and it's $150, and yeah, and you're going to get it and it's going to be $150 nightmare. So just be cautious and be careful. Do your research. It's a type of FDM. Still kind of drawing a blank on that, man. I'll look into it and see. So, yeah, just when you're looking into 3D printing, 3D printers and stuff, you don't have to go out and buy the biggest printer. Just decide what you want to do. Now, if you want to just do minis and tabletop stuff, man, you can get one of these Elgu Mars, and you can print on that thing all day long and never miss a beat. Now, if you're wanting to do statues and stuff like that, then yeah, you're probably going to need to go out and get at least a pretty decent size, a medium size SLA printer, format printer like a Photon Mono X or a Saturn. But it's all about what you want to do, not what somebody else does. So if you see Billy Joe Jim Bob has got, oh my God, he's got this big old printer over here, man, that thing is just so cool, I got to go get me one. Yeah, don't do that. So let's see here. So Loki says, diagnosed with cancer a few years ago, here too, and now printing with and painting, I can not only have fun but make money. Helped with my depression a lot. Yes. So we hit the money thing on the last live stream. So if you want to know some ideas on how to make money with 3D printing, go back and watch that one. And there's tons of other ways and everything, but we won't get into that so much right now. But yeah, it does. I hear a lot of that from people. I heard a lot of people say, I went through a terrible divorce. I've got a lot of depression going on and everything, but hey, printing and painting has really helped me kind of break that shell, break that mold, and, help me kind of guide my way through some of the hard times and stuff. And I really, really appreciate the people that have come to me and messaged me and say, hey, your videos have really inspired me to do something for myself for a change, something that I enjoy because I went through a really hard time. Man, you don't know how much that just really touches me. So I appreciate that. Keep that coming, man. If that is what gets you through the day, then brother, go out and do it, man. Life is too short. Dan says, I want to see what improvements Elgu makes to the Saturn III. You and me both. I think they're probably going to have some ridiculous crap on there like 3D cameras. I don't care about having a printer that has a camera on it. I don't care about that. I want to see auto bed leveling. I want to see smoother layer lines. I want to see smoother printing. I want to see, not a bunch of nod shifting or stuff like that, a bunch of nodding. I want a smooth print. That's all I care about. I don't care how long it takes. The one thing that these printers like this bamboo printer, it's fast. I don't care. Who cares? It's fast. You see how many people have problems with that thing? And if that matters to you, then that's your thing. But with me, personally, I want something that's going to look good. I don't care how long it's going to take. I got a print right now. It's taking 27 hours to print. But you know what? When it's done, it's going to look good. I know that. And that's all I care about. So it's different strokes for different folks, I guess. Brandon Kobo, welcome aboard, sir. Says, I just want to say I'm happy I found your channel. I've been printing a big figure and can't wait to follow along your painting videos and learn. Well, we'd love to see that, my friend. Go over to the Facebook channel or the Facebook page. Join the Facebook page, and you can actually post your work over there. Let everybody see what's going on. I encourage it. Do not worry about anybody coming over there and dogging your work out. That is not permitted on my channel, and I will kick your ass off of it in a heartbeat. That's not what that's not what we're here to do. We're here to encourage each other to to print and paint and be happy with what we're doing. We're not here to discourage and throw insults at each other and stuff like that. Anybody that is done that on my channel or done that on any of my social media is no longer on there. So you do not have to worry about that. Nelson says, I have a printer from Frozen. They've got nice printers. The shipping fee to US might be a bit high. I live in Taiwan, so it doesn't really affect me much. I've heard a lot about Frozen printers, and I really want to try one. I really want to try the Transform, but it's an older technology, so I don't know how it compares to like some of the newer stuff, like the Jupiter or the M3 Max. Prints well, it prints good. It's just get the damn. So, do I think SLS printers will be someday mainstream like FDM and SLA? Yes, I do. And I think it's not too far off. I think we're looking at probably 3 to 5 years. Some of these commercial printers, that just what they do is just amazing. And I think that, well, like a lot of your China companies that make mass produced statues and stuff, I think they're using that technology right there now. So I think they're using it on a smaller format as well. So the technology's there already. It's just a matter of how they're going to develop it and get it out on the mainstream. I think that's just going to take time. If it takes away sanding and post-processing, I'll take it. Yep. Christian wants to know what I'm printing. So I am printing a, what else? I'm printing a Punisher figure. So actually, I am printing a Punisher figure from Vengeance Studios. Vengeance Studios has a Patreon, and go over there, check those out. They do some good work. But I'm doing a quarter scale Punisher figure. It's a John Bernthal printer figure right now. I got to keep my collection up, man. So absolutely. But I am also working on cable. I did all the prep work on it. So it's getting ready for primer and paint. I've actually been working on Galactus a little bit today too, which is the first time I've worked on him in a while. And so I'm getting ready for him to get into primer and paint. Trying to knock out some of my backlog. A lot of stuff of what I have already printed will not make a video of it. It'll just go into the collection. And when this summer, I'm dedicated that I am definitely going to get my collection room squared away. But once I do, you guys are going to be in for a treat when we do a collection room video. It's going to be pretty awesome. There's a lot of stuff in there that I have not let anybody see yet because I'm just waiting for that video. And it's going to be a long video, so just beware. Pato says, I think the 3D printing community is one of the friendliest communities. Anytime I've had an issue, there's always so many people out willing to help out. Yes. So you have the statue community, and then you have the 3D printing community, and they don't gel because you got statue guys that, I spent $250,000 on my collection. I don't want that 3D printed garbage in my collection. It just doesn't look right. That's some of them. And some of those guys are pretty toxic. Whereas a lot of what I've seen in the 3D printing community, everybody's been very helpful and very encouraging. So we are all just in a big fish bowl, swimming around together and just trying to learn, feed off each other and learn and enjoy the hobby. But yeah, there's some toxic people out there, especially in the statue community. And yeah, anyway, excited to see my whole collection. I'm excited to show it. I mean, I've got a lot of stuff. I do have a lot of mass produced statues that I bought over the years. I can tell you right now, I haven't bought one in several years. Well, unless it's Punisher. If it's been Punisher, I probably bought one. But it's been a while since I bought a statue from Sideshow. I do not have any XM Studios. I do not have any Prime One. I do not have any Iron Studio. Well, I'll take it back. I have a Punisher from Iron Studio. But a lot of those companies, I do not have any of their statues. I mean, I've got some sideshow stuff, and that's about it. Um, so it's whatever you want to have in your collection. But I'm the creative collector. I don't also just collect statues. I collect all kinds of other stuff. I collect 1/6 scale figures. Um, I collect little 112 action figures. I'm a GI Joe collector. I love GI Joe. So I collect that stuff. I think Wicked is finally going to come out with a GI Joe line, which I'm super excited about if they do. Yes, and Deja Brutal says I've mainly collected Bowen, so I've got some Bowen stuff. If you're unfamiliar with Randy Bowen started all this. It's his fault. Um, Randy made statues. He's the statue godfather back in the early 2000s, maybe late 90s. But he is the one who pretty much got this ball rolling. Yeah. So what's funny is you can't tell the difference between a statue or 3D printed unless you pick it up. So yeah, I mean, of course the paintwork is going to be different. The appearance is going to be different. The texture, all that stuff is going to be different because what you're printing with is resin or FDM, which is just a plastic basically. Whereas what they produce in China is a polystone, which is basically resin mixed with gypsum to create that type of feel, that heavy feel and everything. It's cheap. Um, they do it on the cheap and they charge way too much for it. But it is what it is. There's some nice stuff out there being produced, but I really want to just show you guys and what I'm doing too in my collection while I am um, getting everything kind of ready and in the process of getting everything ready for that room. I'm going to let you guys know how much I have invested in my collection and as far as my 3D printed collection versus somebody else who would probably have 150 statues that they bought from Sideshow and all those other companies. And it's going to blow your mind because I watch some of these videos, these collectors out there that, and they get probably 50,000 hits, 50,000 views on their collection rooms. They're quick to brag. Oh, I've got 135 statues. I probably got about $215,000 into this collection. That's crazy. That is insane to be spending that kind of money on some damn statues. You could have paid your house off or whatever. But if you got that money to throw around like that, more power to you. Compared to somebody like, what I do here, it's probably just a mere small fraction of what somebody would spend on a collection like that. So, um, yeah, and Joe, I'm right. You're right. It's always more impressive to make it than buy it. That's my opinion. That's your opinion. That's the opinion of a lot of people here. I could just get more gratification knowing that I created something with these two hands, and maybe make something for a friend or something that people come over and look at, like I said, and they talk about it, ask questions and everything. That's the cool thing. So. But if compared to like walking over to a friend's house or going into a friend's house and going, oh man, that Hulk statue looks pretty cool. Yeah, so and so has one too, and so on here has one too. And they all look the same. So that's just my opinion about it. My wife says it's the difference in one is about monetary value and one is about the time and effort to create a unique piece of art. She is so right. My wife is so right. She's so smart. But it is true. I think you get more out of creating a piece rather than just going and buying something off a shelf or whatever. It's like it's like the old man that goes and makes refurbished furniture or something like that. He takes something that's old and broken down and sands it and repaints it and just totally makes it in like a shiny new penny and just puts it in somebody's house or sells it and they go, oh my God, this was hand painted. It was handmade. And it's just that much better, I think, rather than buying a manufactured piece. Dan says my problem with the statues from official companies that they show you a statue painted by Picasso and you receive the statue painted by a drunk guy at the factory. You know, that is true. What you get is a production piece. You do not get a prototype. So yeah, it does look a lot different. And I don't think it's a drunk guy at a China factory or anything like that. Excuse me while I take a cough drop. But I think they do have people that they don't know much about the comic character itself. They don't know much about the process of making a statue per se. There's no feeling put into it. It's just just they're painting 100 of these damn heads, and that's about it. So yeah, when you take something that's from here, when it's from the heart, and you get in there and you make it, whether you spend weeks, months, years, or days, or whatever like that, then when you get done with it, and you're holding that statue, or if it's not a statue, just whatever, if you're holding that piece and you're looking at it and you're just going, man, that looks awesome. Or if, my wife comes in here all the time and, I'm be working, painting a piece or whatever. And she just goes, oh my God, that just looks so good. I don't think it looks all that great, but my wife does. And that's important to me because she is my biggest fan. She's my biggest supporter. And her opinion matters to me because it makes me happy. It makes me feel good inside to know that someone likes my work. You guys, like I said, the messages that you send to me or whatever like that, it just makes me feel good because you guys enjoy the channel. And if you're one of these artists that is making a living off of it and everything, that is awesome. But I will tell you this: there are 3 things that you need to follow as an artist, and that's, I say that on every video, is stay humble, know where you came from, treat people with respect, and customer service has to be your number 1 priority. If you do those 3 things, you'll be fine. The biggest thing is staying humble, because I know a lot of people out there that started small. I'm not going to mention any names, that started small, and when they've gotten bigger, they've got the big head on their shoulders, and they won't give you the time of day now, and and eventually it'll catch up with them. So absolutely. Sadavian, how you doing, buddy? Says, I love being able to print some things I can't buy, but I can print. I printed a Jessica Rabbit statue for my daughter for Christmas. She absolutely loves. That right there, sir, is what it's all about. You print something for your kids, or my wife has a couple of my pieces that I printed for her, and she absolutely loves them. They're on her desk. She looks at them every day, and she loves it. So I that's what I find gratitude in. I love that. I mean, that's what makes everything worth it. So, you're absolutely right. Loki says, my wife will let me know when it's not right. That matters. Yeah. So my wife does the same thing. So my wife, if she sees something that she goes, oh, that doesn't look right, she'll tell me, because I want to know. And I've gotten a piece done. I went and I've looked at something, when you're painting a piece and you stay on it for several hours, and your eyes are looking at it and it's like, okay, I'm done. This looks good. It's always a good thing for another set of eyes to look at something, to come in and say, oh, that you need to touch that up right there, or get away from it and then come back a couple hours or next day or whatever like that and look at it. And you'll see where, you need opportunities to better yourself. So that always helps. She says artists of all mediums are always their own worst critic. Of course, absolutely. Joe says, I actually got into 3D printing to design and make parts to build a custom lightsaber. Can't tell you how satisfying it is when people with Disney ones wish they had the one I made myself. Yes. So that is it. That is very cool. And that's because that one from Disney is just mass produced. Everybody's got one. But you got something in your hand, a lightsaber that, that hilt or whatever like that. And it's got a unique type of feel and look to it. And people look at that and they go, God, that just looks awesome. Look, I just have this plastic piece of crap or whatever. So yeah, that's awesome. Or taking pictures of it. Yeah. Can I take a picture with you and your statue? Yeah. So, I mean, it's all those things are gratifying. Um, it's all gratifying. I can go on this all night and everything and talk about those things that make 3D printing and painting and art in general so worth it. Um, I love to draw. I've been a drawer, I've been a painter and everything like that in the past and stuff. And I haven't done a lot of that for a very long time because I used to have art teachers that would be brutal in critiquing my work. And, it kind of got me down and I just didn't want to do it anymore. But with 3D printing and stuff, you know, uh, this is something that I just let my imagination run away with. Not every piece is going to look the same. There's always going to be things that you're going to do different than the next person. Um, but who cares? It's yours. I've had people to message me on the channel and make comments of like, well, this is supposed to look like so and so, and this is supposed to look like so and so. Who cares what you think? I mean, who cares what other people think? And that's not trying to, um, that's not trying to be mean or be cruel or anything. But why are you critiquing? Why does everything have to be the same? Why? I mean, you're going to critique somebody's work, okay? Let them know what they could do to do better, but tell them why. But not everything has to be the same. Um, so, um, so that's my take basically on where I think 3D printing is headed. I think it's heading in a way that a lot more people are going to get involved. There's already hundreds and thousands of patrons out there. Um, if Dolph is still on here, I would really love for you guys that have just got on here. Dolph Souza is his name. He's got an Instagram page. Look him up on Instagram. Dolph has done. He's only got one model on there that he's done. It's a trap jaw from He-Man, but I love his style. I love his technique, and he's an all-around artist. And that's where I'm trying to get. I'm trying to get to the designing, the printing, or the designing, the printing, and painting, and everything else. But he does some really good work. Check him out. Give him a follow over there. Hopefully we see a Patreon from him very soon. I will be probably one of the first ones to sign up for that. And I look forward to seeing some of the work that he has done. Oh, there he is. Dolph, there he is. Yes, sir. We will be building something together very soon. Yes, sir. We will. We'll discuss that. So, don't forget, guys, I do have a Patreon. We'd have a private Discord to discuss things like this on a daily basis. So I have a lot of my guys that are probably on here tonight. You can go on there. We just have a Discord. You go on there, we get to talking, and showing our work and asking questions and helping each other out, encouraging each other and stuff. But I will say that I am starting to work with artists to do something exclusive for the patrons. And I don't know if I don't think I have a share button here where I can get on here and show something. I wish I could. I wish I could share my screen and show you. Anyway, yeah. So Joe is one of my patrons. He can tell you. We're pretty supportive over there. No negativity, no negative talk, anything, or anything like that. I will be doing some occasionally live streams over there with my guys. We can actually be on camera with each other, and we can go over things, and I can help with different things or whatever. Um, so yeah, we just like to have fun. We don't always talk about 3D printing and painting. We talk about other things, have good discussions like family and other hobbies and everything like that. So whatever you got, if you want to come over there and join, just a couple bucks a month to help support the channel, you're more than welcome to. I would love to open up I had the question of, will you open up a free Discord? Maybe in the future. The thing about opening up a free Discord is you will have tons of people join it, and there's no sure way to monitor it without hiring people to do it. And that's a big undertaking right now, especially with everything going on. So maybe in the future, who knows? Um, Oh, so Loki Wartooth, you did see his trap jaw. See what I'm saying? This guy's good. He's good. Um, Ty Guy, just subbed and like. I'm just getting into 3D printing. Just got a CR10 Smart and an Ender 3 version 2 Neo. Love it. Awesome. So yeah, appreciate the sub, appreciate the like and everything. And he's from British Columbia, Canada. So yeah, we're getting all kinds of people from London to Canada to my back door to I appreciate it, man. It's exciting, when you do this. We're doing this channel. My wife encouraged me to do it a year and a half ago. But I never thought that I would have this many people to really, be encouraging me to do much, to do more, and to keep showing you guys. By the way, I have a new video that's going to drop tomorrow. You guys got to see it. It's some pretty cool stuff. We're not painting a statue. We're not doing any painting at all, but we're painting. Aha. I got you there. So got a new video that's going to be dropping tomorrow, guys. But double check it out. I appreciate all the support you guys have given the channel. Appreciate all the patrons that have, who have supported, and gone that extra mile to help support the channel. That way I can keep doing this and everything. Much love to you guys. I really appreciate it. All right, we got somebody from Cali in Australia. Dan says, I love to get the file to print that trap jaw. You and me both, man. So Dolph may make it available later on or something. I don't know. But we're gonna have a discussion, and we're going to come up with something between each other. So there you go. He says we'll get the STL for that for sure. Brandon's hello from Puerto Rico. Hello, sir. But yeah, I mean that's I love that. I love those stylized type pieces like that. Ty Guy says, I love the support and the people have been meeting because of 3D printing. Absolutely. Finger paints, my speed. Hey, you can do a lot with finger paints, man. You can do a lot with finger paints. You'd be surprised. Louisiana. Yep, Louisiana. Another one from Puerto Rico. So we got my Puerto Rico friends over there. Awesome. And the guys from Wicked, I think, are from Colombia, if I'm not mistaken. So we're kind of going all over the place. I got people that I got one gentleman who is from Pakistan who I talk to on a regular basis, and I got another one that is in I want to say he is like in he's in Saudi Arabia. I think he's in Saudi Arabia. But there's, I got people from all over the place, Texas, Georgia, absolutely. So that right there will show you how far 3D printing goes all over the world. Can you imagine this hobby in another 3-5 years? What it's going to look like? It's going to be like everybody has a TV in their house, right? The majority of people, I'll say 98%. Panama, Ohio. So, like the majority of people here have like a TV in their house. What would it be like if that majority had a 3D printer in their house? I think it's a possibility. I think it's a possibility that everybody is really going to get into this because it is good family time. Nelson's from Taiwan. Awesome. Um, so I think if anybody has any questions, we'll go on to the Q&A right now. So if you have a question, put it in the comment section. We'll do this for a little bit and then we'll call it a night. We've been on here for almost an hour and a half and it just flies by. But also, if you have any ideas of, or any comments that you think how 3D printing is going to explode, or if you think it's going to go bust, I would love to hear from you. So absolutely. If there's any questions that you guys have, let me know and I'll answer them right now. Joseph, welcome aboard, sir. One of my patrons. My grandkids' elementary principal wants to try putting in 3D printing in their art program. Absolutely, do it. Do it, man. Absolutely, they need to. Because I think if you think about 3D printing, you think of the mathematics. You think of the equations and stuff like that you have to come up with in order to go into a program to be able to design stuff, from an architecture type standpoint. I think that involves a lot of knowledge that kids would really find fun and they would really want to learn. So damn right, I would definitely love to see 3D printing in all the schools. I think kids would love it. Super Cosplay 3D says there's a commercial out there about a guy printing a butterfly on a new printer and it's colored and everything. Have you seen that commercial? No, I haven't. Are you talking about a resin printer or like an FDM printer? FDM printers, they're starting to do that now. I know with like the bamboo, I can't remember the dadgum name, the X1 carbon or whatever it's called. Of course, they're doing a lot of that right now. Stober says, I'm currently judging a contest where kids design pins for veterans. Some very cool ideas. Hey, art's everywhere, I think that, having them in schools is a win-win situation there. Ty Guy says, I'm debating doing the bed upgrade on my CR10 Smart, but it's scary that I have to drill out 4 corners to make it work. What's your thoughts? You know what? I think that's probably, to be honest with you, it's kind of more trouble than it's worth to me. It might be okay to you, but there's newer printers out there that have that same technology to upgrade or whatever like that, that are faster, and faster to me is not important, but they have better capabilities, better technology for a cheap price. So for what you upgrade that printer to, you might be able to put a little bit more with it and get one of those type of printers. So think about that. Do your research. But if it's something you're hell-bent on doing, then I say go for it. There are printers now to print food, human organs, and houses. I think printing is here to stay. Absolutely. So I watched a commercial the other day where this hospital, this group of doctors and technicians and scientists were printing out hearts to heart pieces or whatever like that for bypass surgeries and stuff. Instead of taking out splints and putting them in the heart, they're actually producing these things out of carbon fiber and silicone and different things like that. And it's just amazing the things they can come up with. So you can imagine, let's go back to the school. You can imagine one of those kids that gets his start on a 3D printer in school and turns into one of these engineers and one of these scientists and does things like that and hits some sort of major type of invention to save lives. Think about that, guys. That's huge. That is amazing. That one kid, it could be your kid, it could be you, that gets into this whole 3D printing thing and takes it to another level with the technology that's out there now and makes something that's available to save lives. Like I told you, that one kid, that one guy that developed those the prosthesis for the kid that had no legs. The kid was in a wheelchair. He was miserable. This guy went and created these things out of carbon fiber, where the kid, not only does he have the capability of getting up and walking with crutches or with, with canes or whatever, but this kid, this guy's developing these things to where they got like hydraulics and stuff on them, where the heels and the ankles and stuff will pivot to where you can actually, won't be so rigid, and the kids can walk on them. Like, unbelievable. All right, guys, it says my connection was unstable. They're trying to reconnect. It's raining outside, I think, or we got some bad weather coming, so it might drop off here. Let's see who else. Daniel Mendoza says, thanks for the tutorials. I use them to paint my Akuma bus. It looks cool. Awesome, Daniel. Go to my Facebook page. Join the group over there. It's free. I'd love to see the picture of Akuma. Joseph says, have I seen the new Creality FDM large-scale printer? I think it's like 450, 450, 500. It's not released yet. I have. It's amazing. It's just freaky. It's crazy. My wife. It's not my birthday anymore. It was 2 days ago. But thank you all. Before you end the live stream, I'm not going to end it yet. It's an hour and a half. I'm going to keep going. You guys want to end the live stream? Are you getting bored with it? We have 45 people on here right now. It was Monday, so it's still birthday week. Yeah, so yeah, I turned over a half century old. I hit the big 5-1, guys. I appreciate it. All the happy birthdays. Dolph says, I'm good. Let's keep going. Absolutely. Cool. Thank you, Toby. I appreciate it. Again, Dolph, I was trying to really see if I could like share my screen here so I could put up one of your pictures from the trap jaw here. Yeah, so let me see what, let's say here. Well, that one don't work. So, all right. Well, I guess I can't do it. But yeah, we got Dolph Zeus on here. If you're just now getting on here, an amazing artist, 3D artist who did his first 3D print and paint. He's an all-around artist. He designed it, he printed it, he painted it. It looks amazing. Go over to Instagram, give him some love. What are you up to now, Dolph? I mean, as far as followers, did we get you some followers over there? Hold on, I got to check this out. Man, I don't know if I could just show it on here. So I don't know if this will show up on the camera or not. You probably can't see it very well. So I'm doing it ghetto style. We do that here in Memphis. So this is his trap jaw right here. And go over and check this out, guys. This amazing work here. Look, there's a close-up of the face. He designed that. He painted that and he printed it and painted it. So absolutely. So go check it out. It's Dolph Zuza. You see his name in there. He's over on Instagram. Go over and give Dolph some love. We're going to be, hopefully we'll be doing some collaborations together and making some pretty cool art. So absolutely. Max, your brother was on Monday too. You've turned 58. Well, happy birthday to your brother. Hey, Scott, how are you doing, my friend? Will, I'm only at work doing data entry, so keep going. I have 4 hours to go. I'm not going to be on here for 4 hours, man. I got to work in the morning, but okay, we'll keep going. Absolutely. Oh, that is cool. That's the comment of the night right there, guys. Keep going because I'm data entry and I'm here for 4 more hours. CBT beer bong says, just wanted to jump in here and say thank you for the videos. Consistently learning. I suck at painting. No, you don't. But you have helped me get further along. You do not suck. I don't even have to see your painting. You do not suck because it is yours. Whatever you're painting is yours. You don't suck by trying. You don't suck by sticking your neck out there and trying to learn. That's not how this works. You suck by not giving a crap and just not putting in an effort, and whining about it. If you put something out there and you put your heart and soul into it, and it doesn't look good, it doesn't mean you suck. If you want to put something out there and use it as an excuse that you can't get better, oh, I'm just giving up or whatever like that, then that's a different story. So, absolutely. So, do we have any questions? All these accolades and stuff like that, happy birthdays and everything. Um, yes, once again, my wife is right. Everyone, which means everyone starts off at square one and grows from there. Absolutely. Um, so, does anyone have any questions, any problems that they're having with their painting, with their prints, or anything like that that maybe I could help with, or maybe somebody else on here could help with? Um, Anything at all? Okay. All right. Not everybody jumping in at once. Okay, that's understandable. Um, so, a couple of things that I am working on that I'm going to be upcoming working on here. Well, first and foremost, try and get this paint log down, this backlog down. But the projects that I have that I'm looking forward to getting finished are, and this is part of my backlog. I have a cable to finish. It's all printed. The base is humongous. I got to finish cleaning one part and getting everything put together and primered and painted or prepped and everything like that. I have Craven the Hunter from Wicked. I have, oh my God, I have Wonder Woman from 3D Berserk. I have the Prey diorama. I have the Hulk versus Hulkbuster. I have Carnage versus Venom. Um, and I have the Juggernaut and Colossus diorama. So, uh, show us your backlog wall since it's right behind you. I will. So hold on one second. My wife wants me to show you my backlog. Can you guys see all this? This is a 3-tiered shelf here that's on this wall. So up here I have Thor, Hawkeye, Archangel. I have Captain America bust, Black Widow bust, and tons of stuff back there. So yeah, that's definitely a honey-do list. Is that cable in my Facebook forum? I don't know if I've shown. I think I've done a video on the skin tones and on the face, but I don't think I've really shown much of the figure itself. So, question from Stobar. We got a question here. Do I use auto supports? If not, can I provide any tips to making adding supports less painful? Yes, I use auto supports. I don't use pre-supports. I use Chitu Box. I don't use Lychee because Lychee I find hates auto supports or pre-supported files. I'm sorry. Some people have really good luck with them. Some people don't. I was one of those people. But I think I try to keep it simple. I think a lot of people kind of overthink supports in a way that I go in there and the only thing that I really fine tune is my density. I put the density down to like 30. So if I have a bigger piece that needs to be supported with more, I'll go up to 40. But most of my density levels stay around the 30 mark. That's the only thing I really tweaked. But other than that, I use auto supports on all my models. When painting with painter's tape, what do you use to help prevent paint from pulling up the tape? Anybody that can tell you I don't mask anything. I don't. I'm guilty. I don't have any painter's tape up here because I really don't use it. But when I have masked off in the past, I just make sure I get good tape. If you get good tape like the frog tape or something like that, Tamiya has some really good tape. Then you won't have to worry about anything bleeding through when you're pulling up. It doesn't pull up tape or it doesn't pull up any paint. The trick to it is make sure you use primer. I have seen people not primer a piece and just put paint down, and then when they use tape or whatever like that, then they wind up pulling up paint because it just really doesn't have anything to bite to. So hope that helps out. Max wants to know, which air compressor do you recommend, and could you put it in the description if it is on Amazon? Bingo, got you already to it. So if you look in the description in all my videos, there is a air compressor airbrush combo that I get from Amazon, and it's cheap. It's like a couple $100. And I use, well, here's an airbrush right here in front of me. This is what I use. It's a Master 2213 or whatever, $40 on Amazon, and I got a link for it in the description. I refuse to buy $200 or $300 airbrushes. I think it's ludicrous. It's not for me. I had one years ago. I got one in there right now. I've used it twice. I think I paid $269 for it. I used it twice. It went bad on me, and the company refused to take it back. So I just use cheap airbrushes. I use cheap paints or cheap paint brushes. There's a couple that I bought from Tamiya that are the detail brushes. They're like $12 a piece, $7, something like that. But those have been really good. But other than that, I don't spend a lot of money on compressors. The compressor I got is fabulous. It's got everything on it that I need. The airbrush here, it's got everything on it that I need. And like if I'm even printing or if I'm painting in my house, which you probably shouldn't do, I use one of these little air compressors right here. Perfect PSI. They don't get all over the place or whatever. I don't have to have a big compressor. I even got affiliate links for these in here as well. So yeah. Let's see. Let's go back up a little bit. There was a couple other questions. Is my Discord only for my Patreon? Yes, sir. Unfortunately, right now it is. What's a good size build volume for 1/6, 1/4 statue body parts? I have printed a lot of my 1/6 scale stuff off of like the Mono X's, or I've got the Lynette based 8K, which is on Amazon right now. It's a little pricey, but it's a damn good printer. I in the Saturn. I mean, those will help you. If you're printing bigger pieces like quarter scales or something like that, then you can go on a mesh mixer and you can actually chop those up if you need to, especially like bigger bases. A lot of people print those in FDM anyway because it's cheaper and it's a little faster. So mesh mixer is where it's at. Let's see. Skin tone's looking amazing. Thank you. Appreciate it. So Dan says, Dolph, you need to open a Patreon for He-Man characters. Agreed. If everybody else agrees, give me a hell yeah in the comments. How do I organize all the digital files, models that I buy and such? That's a good question. I'm sorry, I'm having to eat cough drops, guys, because I have this nasty cough from COVID and bronchitis and everything. So I'm still having to deal with that. So I have a 3 terabyte hard drive. My wife and I were talking about this the other day. So I got everything sectioned out in different documents folders, ones that I have printed and ones that I haven't printed, ones that I've went through and looked at, and ones that are brand new and I haven't looked at. So what I'm going to be doing is I have an external hard drive to where the ones that that I've printed already, which it's a lot, I'm going to actually transfer those over to there. That way they can kind of be off of my main computer and I don't have to worry about things getting bogged down or anything like that. So my wife is the queen of organization. And so she's doesn't know it yet, but she's going to help me with that. Right, dear? Okay. um, Raging Mondo says if your paint is pulling up, your prep work needs some more work. If it is cleaned and sanded and primed correctly, it shouldn't pull up. Exactly right. Um, Pato says you may have talked about it in your videos, but just wondering when doing a mostly black statue, what do you use to shade and highlight so it's not just a solid black like a Punisher or a Batman? So that is when I really get into like blues and browns and grays, depending on what kind of setting or everything is in. Like, for example, I'll show you this one. I got a Punisher right here. He's right in front of me. I hope his head doesn't fall off. He's solid black. Right now, I have to do the skull and everything. So, what I'll give you an idea. What I'm going to do is like on the boots, I'm gonna dirty him up. I'm gonna put like some brown on there, like he's got just dirt or whatever. I look at things like from a realistic standpoint. So I will take like the pants on the highlights, the knees and stuff. I'll dirty those up. I'll probably do some brown, probably a little gray or something like that on there. I will go in and I will airbrush highlights with those lighter colors mixed with the black and make those come out a little bit, like the leather jacket. Let me show you some things on this, like here. So I had a kind of a print fail, sort of, but I'm making it work to my advantage. So I have, let me take this head off here because I have a funny feeling this thing's going to crack the floor in a minute. But like on this, you see that right there? That was like where the resin bled through and it didn't come out right. And then I have a hole right here. That's the way it printed. That's cool because that's going to like tie into the weathering of the jacket. Punisher doesn't have a spiffy jacket he just got from Men's Warehouse. He's got some raggedy shit, so it's got some stuff that needs some holes in it. So what I'll do with that is I'll probably dry brush a little brown around it, like it's kind of a hole in it. I'll take the airbrush and I'll go along the edges right here in a little brown where like the leather is worn. So that's something that you can do, especially with different textures like leather textures and stuff. And then with the gun, of course, I will use, just a little bit of weather chipping and stuff like that to make it look like it's a little bit of battle worn. And like buckles, like belt buckles and stuff. Again, I will go in and paint those. Like the belt, it's a leather belt, so I'll do things like use browns and like a burnt red or a leather red or something like that to dry brush on there to highlight those and make those really come out. So I hope that answers your question. But black is super hard to really get correctly, to get right, because when you do black, everything shows on it. So if you don't have your prep work done, if you have one of your little support divots on there, and I'm looking at one right now, that's why I'm saying it, because it drives me nuts. I got to sand it off, but it will show. It will show through and through. So that's why you want to make sure that you get all of your prep work done. So I'm a firm believer that I believe that prep work is about 70% of the job itself, and probably about 25% is painting. The other 5% is just you being patient. So that's, but this is a full quarter scale. This one's done by a guy named Bow87. I did his Daredevil, and I think I did a video for it. This one won't be a video. This one, I've done a lot of Punisher videos. I don't want to bore people with Punisher videos, but this one's for my collection. And I'm really proud of it. I'm really digging this one. I love the design. I love Bernthal. I think people rag him on for being a terrible Punisher. I think he was probably the best Punisher we had so far, and I would love to see him in future movies. All right, moving on. Let's see. How do you decide when to use pastels or airbrush? It really depends on my mood, to be honest with you. If I have a larger piece, like I was just saying about that jacket, I'll use an airbrush. If I have smaller areas where it's hard to get an airbrush in there, I'll probably use pastels on there. Um, La, 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 la. Samer says, I found that if I use Wicked 3D's pre-supported STLs and export out of Lychee into Cheeto box format, there are artifacts that will ruin the print every file. I keep hearing that, but I have not experienced that. Again, I don't use Lychee. I use straight up Cheeto box. Sedavian says, I have an Amazon $15 Timber Tech. It's the same as a Masters, even uses the same parts. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to spend a ton of money. Yep, the mobile airbrushes that work great. I've got 2 of them. I've just been using the one here lately. It's been so cold in my workroom. Again, I'm trying to get my collection room set up, get air and heat to it and everything. I've got it all. I just got to get it working. And once I do that, then this room will be non-existent anymore. But if I open and then save out a Cheeto box, there are no artifacts. Right. I think when you convert from Lychee over to Cheeto box, I think that's where you have the problem at. Let's see here. How many Punisher printed statues do I have? Oh, geez. Are you kidding me? I think the last time I counted, now this is just printed statues. This is not ones that I already have like from Sideshow. I think I had 37. No, I'm sorry, 47. And still counting. So yeah. My wife says a bunch. And yeah, I think it's like 47. There might be more. I'm not sure. But there's quite a bit. Absolutely. All right. What else? We're coming up on 2 hours, guys. I know the guy that was he said he was doing he still had 4 hours left on his shift. I'm not gonna be able to sit here for 4 hours. You think it's more than 47, dear? It might be. I can't. I mean, that's the last time I kept track. It was 47. I've done Punisher wise. I've done everything from quarter scales to 1/3 scale. I got 1/3 scale. Tons of 1/6 stuff. I've done a bunch of chibis, whatever you want to call them. I've done miniatures. I've done 1/10 scale, 1/7. So there's a bunch of stuff. I've got in here right now. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Punisher statues right now that are printed, that are not painted. And I've got dozens of files that I have yet to even print or paint. So yeah, Punisher is my guy. I mean, he's just always been one of those that I've always just enjoyed since I was a kid, since I was a teenager. So, oh yeah, we have 4 in the living room. I have statues everywhere, guys. I have them in my desk. I have them up above my desk. I have them in my living room. I have this room here. I have a collection room. No, I'm not a gun guy. Actually, I do not own a gun. Do not even own a gun right now. I used to be a weapons instructor, but I am not a gun guy right now. And it's the Punisher is not. I like the character, not because he carries a gun. I just liked the character itself. No superpowers, just military training, hand-to-hand combat. I just like what he represented at the time and stuff. And he's just really cool. And plus, I love skulls. So Will says he's still here. All right, cool deal. So I am getting a gun eventually. I used to have a lot, and I don't. I there's reasons why I got out of guns and stuff, but I won't go into that. Any other questions? I think we're about to ready to wrap this one up, guys. I have to finish editing the video for tomorrow, and I have to go to bed and I have to go to work in the morning. It sucks. yeah. So skulls. Yeah, my wife and I are really morbid people. We love skulls. Like above her desk, I will tell you, this woman has like skulls all over the top of her desk and everything. We have a Grim Reaper standing in our living room, and we have a giant dead bird. Um, yeah. Hold on, I got pop ups coming up now. But yeah, we love skulls. We love the Halloween is our favorite time of year. We go all out. We enjoy it and everything, and we really like it. So a bird, yeah, it's a raven, and it's like stands out like this. It's like 6.5 feet, 7 feet tall. Stands out with his hands, and he kind of goes back and forth. I think we got it at Spirit during Halloween, and also got a bone throne. It's kind of like the the Game of Thrones throne, but not quite. Peter, you are late, but it's okay. Better late than never, man. You can rewatch it later on. Um, but yeah, Lord Raven, that's what it's called. My wife calls it just Big Dead Bird. But we have those in the living room right now, just part of the decor. And we have a behemoth that we call the behemoth. It's just a big wall mounted thing, entertainment center from IKEA, and on the top of it, it's like 8 feet, 9 feet tall. I have some of my statues up there as well. So, so tell me, where do you guys keep your statues? Does your wife let you put them in the living room or the bedroom or any other room, or do you have to keep them confined to a certain area? Or if you're single, do you have a man cave or a bachelor pad where you just put stuff everywhere? Let me know in the comments. As you can see, I've got stuff everywhere. But yeah. All right. So um, it's 10:50 a.m. Oh my God! In Australia, got stuck in a meeting. Oh yeah. Um, you have a whole entertainment center you took over. My kind of man. Scott's confined to the man cave except for Wonder Woman that is in her office. Of course. In a butter tin until I paint them. Dolph says my flat is small. I run out of space quick. It's 3 a.m. in England. Man, look, this guy's a trooper, guys. Go to his freaking Instagram page and subscribe to his Instagram page and look at this guy. It's 3 a.m. in England and he's still on this damn podcast or this live stream. That's a trooper for you. Mondo says I have a 3D painting hobby room, print hobby room. I have Star Wars room and things sprinkled throughout the house. Yes. Office and game room from Salvatore. Darren says it's 2:50 a.m. in the UK. You guys are troopers, man. I appreciate it. Well, look, we're going to go ahead and probably wrap this one up. If anybody else has any questions, this is your last call. This is the last call for questions here. After the hurricane destroyed my man cave, I took the entertainment center. Damn right you should have. Dolph says, thank you very much for the kind words. Support, really appreciate the help. Thanks for the follows. Absolutely, guys. Go see Dolph over there. Go see Trapjaw. It's a really good piece. This guy's going to be a force to be reckoned with. And hopefully we're going to be able to collaborate and maybe do a piece or two or whatever like that. Dolph, go over to my Facebook page. This is one thing you can do. Go over to my Facebook group, Creative Collector. Join the group and post over there, man. Let everybody see your work and stuff. I guarantee they would definitely come over there and check you out. Well, look, everybody, I've had fun tonight. Just shooting the breeze with you all and talking about 3D printing. This has been right up my alley. I could go on for hours and hours, but unfortunately I can't. And we have to kind of wrap it up here. But we will do another live stream next Wednesday. Okay. We'll do another one. I'll post what topic you guys want to see or want to talk about. Let me know in the comments. You can message me, let me know on Facebook or whatever. And I'm always looking for stuff to talk about. I am going to get some software where I can actually have people come on to the live stream and they can be here and interact with you guys on video. So, Dolph, that may be something you might be interested in. That way, you can come on here and talk to everybody, and but we'll hopefully we'll be able to do that very soon. Um, See, you guys are seeing this trap jaw. It's awesome looking. I would love to see a man at arms. He was one of my favorite watching He-Man as a kid. Um, Absolutely. Thank you, sir, for the birthday wish. All right, guys, let's wrap this up here. I appreciate all of the feedback, all the support for the channel. We're over 11,200 subscribers. I think let's check right here and see how many we actually have. Right now, we have 11,224 subscribers to the channel, which is amazing, guys. I appreciate that. That is unbelievable. By all means, if you're not part of the channel, you're not subscribed, please go over and do so. Tell your friends if they're into 3D printing and painting. I would love to have you guys subscribe to the channel. I'm also on social media. I'm on TikTok. I am on Facebook. I am on Instagram. Go over there, subscribe to all of the channels if you want some exclusive content, because there are some times where I do post things on TikTok and everything like that that I don't post on my other social media channels. So I would love to have you guys over there. Remember, this is a reminder also that new video is going to be dropping tomorrow morning. It's going to involve I'll give you a hint. Since you guys showed up, it involves this. Have you guys ever worked with this yet? I'm going to show you a couple of things on this that I've been working with and that you guys can work with if you're looking to advance into metallics. So pretty cool stuff. But check out the video tomorrow. Give it a bunch of likes, comment, all that stuff. We got to push the algorithm and everything like that. That way we get more people into the channel and we can get more subscribers. Don't forget, if you are looking to join the Patreon, I do have a link. I think it is below in the description. If not, it's on one of my other videos. Consider that as well. We have fun over there, guys. That's just an extra support for the channel. That way it helps me buy resin, things like that, to keep doing what I'm doing. Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate all the support. We have fun over there. So if you can't do it, that's fine. Watch the videos, guys. And we're going to go ahead and get off of here. And everybody, again, I appreciate all of the support and all the kind words and all the happy birthday wishes. Thank you so much. So with that being said, everybody, stay safe out there. Get out and create something. Print, prep, paint, repeat. And until the next live stream and until tomorrow's video, everybody, we'll see you. Thank you so much. Love you guys.